I will always proudly say that I'm Sumbanese because I am here right now because of where I am, where I was. So if I hadn't been raised in Sumba, I wouldn't have been proud to be where I am now. Maybe for other people, in other circumstances, achieving what I achieve is very common.
It's very common,
It is because I am a Sumbanese that what I achieve is very special.
Yes.
Welcome back with me, Rosvita Stipula. So today I'm going to have an interview with my best friend. Jadi hari ini saya akan bincang-bincang bersama salah satu anak muda, satu-satunya anak muda dari Wanukaka Sumba Barat yang boleh dibilang prestasinya bagus, terus karirnya juga sukses, dan kebetulan lagi istirahat dari pekerjaannya, dan saatnya saya untuk tanya-tanya apa sih kira-kira kenapa dia only one from Wanukaka who got scholarship an Australian awarded, right? Ya, so ada
Kak Johanna. Hi Kak Johan. Hi, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for your time. I don't think so. Last year, it's our last time we met at the wedding, your cousin's wedding, right? Yeah, last year. Finally, akhirnya saya bisa tiba juga di Wanukaka di rumah ini. Dan di sini sebenarnya ada kelas EGK juga dulu kemarin sama with your little sister.
Bintu.
So, Kanana, sebelumnya nih Kanana tinggal di mungkin mostly in Java. Because your mom from Java, right? Okay. Before we know more about Kanana, lebih akrabnya kita biasa panggil Kanana. So Kanana ini salah satu teman sahabat terbaik saya waktu kuliah. Kita sama-sama satu university, satu kelas. Itu Kanjuruhan Malang. Jadi kita sama-sama alumni Kanjuruhan Malang, alumni tahun 2014. Tahun 2015, ketahuan ya sekarang. Oke. Dan Kanana lulus kuliah, akhirnya lulus kuliah waktu itu hanya lanjut kerja, apply scholarship. So finally akhirnya lulus. Nah, sebelum cerita lanjut, tell us a little bit about your family, about your your childhood experience.
Okay.
So just a little bit.
So my dad is 100% Sumbanese. He went to Java to go to school and met my mom. So I was born in Java, but from baby until I finished elementary school, I actually was raised here. And then I started going to Java when I was 12 years old. So I was in Malang from 12 until I finished pretty much university. And then after finishing my bachelor degree, I come back to Sumba and work at a secondary school here. And while I was working, that's when I applied for the scholarship. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
It's interesting for us and maybe for our friends there that talking about the scholarships, because I really know your hard work to get scholarship, and also at the same time it's so easy for you to get there. So okay, Kanana, how was your, to get your scholarship? It's 2014?
2016 actually.
2016. But you prepared before, it's been long, right? So tell us about that.
So I think I started my research officially around 2013. But at that time I was still focusing more on a US-based scholarship. But then around 2014 I decided that I want to pursue an Australian degree instead. So together with Mesak, our friend,
Mesak, our friends,
we actually started doing research on the proper application for the Australian scholarship. The Australian Award Scholarship was, what can I say? We don't really know a lot about it at that time because we don't really have a lot of people in our circle who actually applies for it. So we can only do a trial and error based project, and well, at least I'm glad I did it. And at that time, we still applied manually.
Manually, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Printed form.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't work like that anymore.
I still remember 2013, right? At time, for the first time we did it together with Mesak and you too, and then we just looked at
yeah, there's like 60
very
pages long.
So, but did you did you always know you wanted to study abroad before?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I knew from when I was in high school that I don't want to give up studying because let's say in Sumba, when you're a girl, you either have to be very good at weaving, or you have to be good at cooking, or you have to be good at planting rice.
That's right.
I'm terrible at all of those.
That if you can't do those things,
Yeah.
it means that you wanted to get married.
Yeah. So I was told when I was young that I won't be able to survive as the ideal Sumbanese wife. So the only way to, go around it is to make money and do what men supposed to do.
Yeah. That's why what made you want to study abroad, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay, but talking about studying abroad and getting your scholarship, I mean, you already graduated, right? So how did you pick your program finally? Because a lot of programs over you.
For me, I know I wanted teaching degree, and it was kind of an obvious choice for us really to take TESOL, because I know that taking Master of Education is too general and it's not too specific. I wanted something more practical, something that I can have direct interaction with kids in class. Can Master of Teaching do that? Yes, they can. But most of the time, that degree is a little bit too broad and it's not specific enough for certain skills that I wanted in class. While I wanted to learn more about the specific skills in classroom teaching. That's why TESOL was an obvious choice for me, and I don't really consider a lot of major really, a lot of choices because I know what I wanted.
Okay.
So there are many variations of it, yes, but since I know what I wanted and knowing that the uni that I chose actually allows us to customize our subject regardless of whether you're studying TESOL or Master of Education. So I was okay with taking that specific subject.
And TESOL.
Yeah,
right?
TESOL.
For your long process to get a scholarship, I mean, and then finally you graduated for your master. What were you excited about or nervous about before you left Indonesia and Wanukaka here?
Let's start with what I'm excited
about. Yeah.
One, it's not Sumba.
Okay.
Because nobody's going to criticize me based on what I wear, where I go, and what I say. Just because I'm a girl. I've never left Indonesia before that.
And
it was my first time. And I know no one in Australia, in Melbourne specifically. And I went there with, what can I say? Bahasa Inggris yang, questionable.
But your English before is great already.
I
have to say.
I used to speak with a very heavy Japanese accent.
But I have to say that your writing is the best. I have to say.
Thank you.
I can see how big your potential at the time. Yeah.
Thank you. The worst part going back is that I myself don't really recognize my potential at that time. And I was just glad that, you know, I took the opportunity knowing that the only way is going up. There's no really going down.
Okay.
Because I've been low. There's no lower than that. That's my perception at that time.
Okay.
So I don't have any other choices. I have to do it. That was my mindset at that time, and I'm glad I had that kind of mindset.
Wow. I can say. Wow.
I mean, how low can you go from worst case scenario, being married off to someone you didn't know?
Aww.
Does it get lower than that?
Does it get lower than that?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Oh my God.
You wanna know a funny story though?
Yeah.
1 month before I left for Australia, I was actually proposed to by somebody that I don't know. So going to Australia was kind of like the obvious choice because I don't want to get married to someone that I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of fun fact.
It's fun fact.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But did you think about before that you got married with someone from Australia, from Melbourne specifically?
No, actually. Like I know I don't want to get married with Sumbanese. No offense, and not all Sumbanese men are you know what I have in mind. But I'm not afraid of the personality of the men. I'm more afraid of being forced into a social circumstances that I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
How to say it? The only word that I can think is submissive. Aku nggak terlalu suka apa ya? Oh ya baik. I'm not like that.
Okay.
Buat aku nggak bisa diem kalau sesuatu itu menurutku nggak benar atau nggak sesuai dengan yang seharusnya, or at least nggak adil.
You need discuss. Ya, mungkin lebih kepada kita tipe cewek yang
Can we talk about this first?
Yeah. Oke, iyalah. Sharingnya kita ini jadi plus ya, gading scholarship, gading juga jodoh gitu. dapat plusnya. Nah, masalah ini Kak boleh di-share juga nih buat teman-teman kita about food. You know, karena about food karena you know waktu itu Kakak bilang bahwa itu pertama kali ke luar negeri dan ada tidak maksud perbedaan yang signifikan kebiasaan mereka di sana terus sama makanan Indonesia, makan makanan Sumba, terus tiba-tiba kita ke negaranya orang itu. How was it?
Seminggu pertama shock, yes. Ada beras nggak di sana? That's the very important question, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ada. Harganya gimana? I can say mostly same.
Okay.
Yeah, around $1 or $2, which translate to sekitar 12.000 sampai 20.000-an sekilo.
Yeah.
And if you're living alone, like how much do you eat really?
Yeah, betul.
Now the real question is, Sumbanese people cannot escape chilies.
Chili.
Kalau nggak pedas kurang.
Jadi kayaknya benih ada pedas, lauknya nggak masalah kemudian gitu kan.
That's where the problem starts.
Yeah.
Chilies are expensive, especially fresh ones.
Oh.
A small packet of approximately 30 chilies can cost you like $5, which is like you can get more than 1 kilo of chili here in Sumba with that money.
Yeah.
But I would say that jangan dikit-dikit konversi. Oh, kalau di sini $1, di sana 10.000. No, think of it like they don't have it over there.
Yeah,
it's not very common. Apa yang kita makan di sini hampir semuanya ada di sana. Tapi I cannot guarantee they have the same price.
But talking about this food also, of course, you part of the new community for you, right? So how did you get involved in the community? I mean, there because it's really different.
So the very basic thing is to join clubs at uni.
Okay.
So whether it's something based on your hobbies or your interests, but at that time, I was trying to improve my academic skill, especially in the first year. So I was joining study sessions and group sharing with people from pretty much around the world. And then to get in touch with my Indonesian community. I chose to go to a Indonesian church service.
Okay.
So it's also like it's easier for me because sometimes I miss the feeling of going to church with my family.
Yeah.
But having a church with Indonesian people allows me to feel at least I am going to church with people who knows the culture. So I don't have a lot of worries on what Western church culture is because the way the church service is arranged is pretty much similar with Indonesia. So I still have a little bit of home with me.
I see. Yeah. The next question is about how are you different and how are you the same? Yeah, I mean Johanna 5 years ago and then after graduating.
Okay.
How are you different or how are you the same?
I'm still the same in the sense that I still want to achieve more.
Yeah.
I know that this is not it. This is not where I stop. I know that there's a lot needed to be done. I'm not talking only about myself, but about what I can offer to the society in general.
Yeah.
I am different in the sense that I now have the ability to know my limit in terms of what I can do myself and what I can do but needing other people's help.
Helps, yeah.
So I know my limits in the sense that I am able to distinguish whether one project I can do on my own and one project I need to collaborate with others, and which skill is needed for which project. So that's where I am different now.
So I want to ask you, cheers, Brisbane, Sumba or Melbourne?
You're being tricky.
Sumba or Melbourne?
Let's see. I'll say Melbourne.
Okay.
Sumba is where my family is. That there's no doubt that I will always come back to Sumba, but I cannot develop a lot here. You asked me to choose, so I am considering what's best for me. So in that sense, I'm thinking of what would make me better than what I am now. And there's not a lot of opportunities here for me. Okay. I remember when I finished my master degree, my dad and I went to pretty much do a job hunting.
Okay.
From Waikabubak to Waitabula to Tambolaka, somewhere in Tambolaka, I don't even know. Basically, we tried different colleges and unis, and we were trying to apply. If I even talked to them about not paying attention to the paycheck, because at that time I desperately wanted to give back to the community. I just wanted a job that I can teach in class.
Okay.
But you have to also think that even though I don't want a specific amount of money, at that time I would say that I was honest about I want a certain amount that can cover my living costs. Because if I was working at those uni, I would be staying away from my house right now.
Yeah.
And I would need transport money. I was honest about it. But some of them flat out said that they cannot afford to do that. So we all know that many teachers and education workers here are underpaid. And for that to that is the reason why people keep complaining about education quality is not going anywhere. But what can you expect when people are trying to juggle more than one job so that they can keep feeding their family while at the same time keep their teaching job? Because you cannot really expect good quality if people cannot focus on one thing. I don't have family that I have to think about, in the sense that I don't have kids that needs feeding, and I can still pretty much ask for money from my dad if I want to, and my dad will surely help me with food. But I cannot ask them to give me monthly allowance to go teach somewhere. So that would be crazy, especially I'm old enough and I'm working. Why would they be spending money on me to do my work?
Of course.
So,
and you are too enough to responsible for yourself, right? Okay, now back to many of our friends got a scholarship in the abroad, and most of them, they told me the same why they choose to work in Gopang, in Jakarta, in Java, because those reasons, right? Because they have to survive for their life. So I mean, how to give back for the local community, because I think this is one of your reasons, right? That's why you pass your test at the time. So how is it?
For me, I am glad that I decided to go with Australian Award Scholarship. They emphasized on empowering you as a person, as an individual, so that you have enough strength to not only stand on your own feet, but also be able to support your community when you can. So I don't have something that you can physically see, but what I try myself is building a legacy where I can inspire other kids, younger girls, to basically have the motivation to achieve more than what they can dream of. If right now they can dream of getting a bachelor degree so they can get a teaching job at a nearby elementary school and get 800,000 a month, maybe by doing what I do, they would think, hey, maybe I can be a doctor. Hey, maybe I can teach at a university. So that's where I am at right now. The learning culture here and learning culture over there is very different. Nobody cares about you going to school over there. It's your own business. If you decided to skip school, skip school. Because nobody is checking attendance. Attendance doesn't matter. For me, that was kind of a shock in the beginning, because nobody is like calling you, hey, are you going to class? No. You have class. Some tutorial classes, they highly recommended you to go, but nobody is actually forcing you to go to class.
To go to class,
So you are not assessed based on whether or not, how many times you go to class every semester. You're assessed on what you can bring to the class based on what you learn. So it's not about physically being in class, but keeping the learning even though when you're not in class.
That's important.
And that's something different. And you can set your own pace in learning, whether you want to be quick, whether you want to be slow.
It's up to you.
Nobody is forcing you have to finish this certain chapters. They would advise you, okay, this is how many readings we want you to do, but nobody is coming and checking on you, hey, are you reading this? Taking that responsibility upon yourself to actually study is what makes things a lot different. Taking charges of yourself.
Yeah. So, and how was it? I heard before that your experience when you got your interview, on your test for scholarship, and you cried.
Yeah, I did.
Why?
So, at that time, I felt like I had a lot to say, but my English skills at that time was not enough to be able to convey what I wanted to say. That's how I felt. The second reason is that I was intimidated to be interviewed by, 2 professors and another master. And at that time I felt really small because I had not spoken proper English for a long time. And that was the first time where I was basically forced to speak English in front of natives. So I was very overwhelmed, to say the least. I wanted to say a lot, but at the same time, I was finding it hard because I could not express what I wanted to say.
Okay.
But I think I have to give myself credit because I could have stopped there and cry the rest of the interview, but the interviewer were very understanding. They knew that it was very emotional for me, so they gave me a minute and they tried to encourage me to keep talking, and they gave me an opportunity that I was thankful for. And I was thinking at the very last minute of the interview that the only thing that I want them to take away is I came to the interview giving it all that I have, which is not much, but I gave it the best.
Okay. Could you please to tell us what the questions they give to you at the time?
They asked me why I wanted to go to Australian National University, which is a top notch. So I said, well, if I'm going to go study in Australia, why don't go to the best school?
Yeah.
Why go halfway? Because I said,
that's so honest.
I am going to Australia for the education. Might as well get the best.
Hi.
And because of that, they had a look at my transcript. And I had to say that I was discouraged for a moment because my transcript is not that impressive.
Okay.
And they clearly told me, based on my transcript, I am not going to qualify for ANU. Right there, on the very room of the interview, they told me that I'm not qualified for ANU. And
it's hard.
Yeah, you'll be like, wait, did I get rejected? Like right there. But then they kept asking questions, and then what I remember clearly is the last question. It wasn't even the question. It wasn't even a question. They say, is there anything more you want to say? That was the question for me that makes everything. So I said, I come here with nothing. I spent my 1 year of salary that I saved up to buy the flight ticket to come here so I can do this interview, because I have given up on trying to be the stereotypical girl in my society. I don't want to be just another girl who gets married at the age of 20 just for the sake of holding a family dignity. And I am blessed enough that my parents are able to send me to school, but I don't think what I know is enough, so I crave for more. And I know this opportunity will give me more. And how am I different from other people? They are going to go places with the knowledge that you can offer them. However, they have not been as low as me. They haven't seen lower than what I see. So I'm sure they're not gonna be as grateful as I am with what you can offer. So that's what I think makes
So touching.
Them
Impressed
their
with you.
decision.
Yeah.
Because I like when I passed the interview and I joined the training, I know for sure, 100% sure, that I am nothing compared to them in terms of my ability and skill. I have a lot to learn. Many of them speak English very fast and they're very knowledgeable, but they all have one very distinct factor in common. They all come from a safe and supportive background where they can access school whenever they want. They can access education as easy as you can think. Well, here you struggle to go to school.
Yeah.
So that's
right.
Yeah, that's why even though I am not as skilled as them in the sense that I need a lot more to learn, but they don't live where I live. They don't know my struggle, so they don't have the right to judge me on that.
Wow. So from your explanation, I can say that sometimes the lateness of or your backgrounds, family, or whatever, is the power of to be successful. It's a bridge to you to get more what you want. For example, you said.
My motivation as I progresses is that I don't want my siblings to go through the same hardship as I do.
Yeah.
So I want them all to be able to go to school, to find that education is actually empowering and not burdensome. Because many people think that school is useless. It doesn't do much. Yes, I know there's many problems with our education system, but you cannot give up just on that. Like, many people argues that you can succeed without getting higher degrees. Yes.
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah.
So emphasis is some, because they have the resources to be successful without education.
Yeah.
Whether it's mommy daddy bank, whether if it's in Sumba, if you have buffaloes and horses or land,
rich enough.
Yeah.
And just
So
enough.
you can sit still and not go to school.
Yeah.
But we have none. And as you can see, my house is pretty much like this. It hasn't changed since
Beautiful house.
1995. But to me, knowing and admitting what I lack means that I am trying to work out to make things better for me, my siblings, my family, and other people.
Of course.
Like, there are many children in this area. I don't want them to think that just because they're a girl, their life is pretty much planned, expected.
Yeah.
Be born, grow up, go to school, finish high school, learn how to cook, how to plant rice, and how to weave, and then get married. I don't
just
want
follow their dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want them to think that that's the norm and that is what you should aspire to.
Yeah.
So I want people to be able to see that just because you don't have a lot, just because your father is a farmer, then you don't have the right to dream. No, my dad doesn't make a lot of money. We go to school because he tries to tackle multiple jobs at the same time. Like, if you have the opportunity, go for it.
Yeah.
Don't grow old and think, what if I had done something?
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
so what's your next goal?
The immediate goal for now is rather personal. I am at the age where I wanted to focus more on family first. So right now I want to focus on getting my marriage sorted. Yeah. So for me, once I am settled with my personal business, then I can focus more on working back in education again.
Education, yeah.
I want a place where the students who are actually, passionate to learn have a place to learn. As you know, many of the houses here, they don't have proper electricity.
Yeah.
And they still use candles,
yeah.
or light from
traditional
oil.
light from oils, yeah.
So I want a place where they can come and do their homework, have books to read.
Yeah.
So I want a place where all the kids can come, whether it's just watch an educational video or movie, or have a place with a proper lighting, so they can do their homework without worrying about the candle burning their book, or being in the dark, anything like that. So that's what I wanted to do. It requires,
maybe later we can partnership.
Yeah, it would be lovely, really.
Yeah. So living in Melbourne, but for Sumba.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
So
I mean, having just because I want to support the society here, it doesn't mean that I have to stay here and actually be in person to support the community. I know that for me, it's kind of hard if I stay here given the circumstances with my fiance.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that just because I live in Melbourne, I'm gonna stop supporting or trying to achieve my intentional goal from the very beginning. Because actually Chris have been very supportive with the whole idea. So I'm sure he would be very happy if I can actually achieve what I have set to achieve.
So maybe the last I don't think so this is the last. I want to know about how would you describe study abroad here?
I think a phrase that I want everyone to keep in mind is that giving up is not the option.
Okay.
Because you're gonna be homesick like crazy. Yes.
Homesick.
School is going to be hard.
Homesick.
Yes. Weather is going to be tough. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But you've gone too far. Giving up is not the option. And especially if you're already there, it means that you have walked half the entire journey. So giving up right there, no, that's not a good idea.
Okay.
Like, it might feel very hard when you are in what you call the problem, but then once you get through it, you'll understand.
Yes, you understand. Okay, so just go ahead first. Just go ahead first.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have a lot of friends who apply scholarship for 7 times, 10 times, but still on process to. Then I so proud of them. They are really, really giving up for that. Just maybe you wanna say some motivations.
Okay.
Please.
So for those who are actually trying to achieve a scholarship, or whether it is inside Indonesia or abroad. The only thing that I can recommend is, even as you are reapplying, make sure you have someone to talk to communicate with when you are reassessing your form. It sounded easy, but having someone to talk to and actually communicating what you are writing will sometimes give you idea of things that you can do differently. Because if you're just doing it on your own, sometimes you fail to see where things have gone wrong. And to me, when I was applying, I remember changing my essay multiple times as I speak to different people. Because as I read it out loud to them, they would point out different pieces that I could have done differently. So maybe when you're applying and you feel like, but I have done this right, maybe try talking to someone. Have them read your application. Hey, maybe it's just one sentence that is, done differently, but maybe it's all the difference that you need.
Okay.
So having a second opinion is never wrong. It doesn't
awesome.
mean that you have to
Yeah.
take, but most of the times, the second opinion allows you to rethink of new perspective.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to change it because of the second opinion.
Yeah.
But you would definitely think of it differently.
Okay.
When somebody tells you, hey, don't you think this should be changed? It doesn't mean that you are going to change it immediately. But most of the time, you're going to think, why does this person think that I need to change this? And then there's when you can list pros and cons of that particular part that they commented.
Wow. Because I really know you from beginning. Let's say from beginning at the university, and I got, and we have to say hello for the alumni from Kanjuruhan University. And for our lecturers.
I met some of the lecturers actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I visited at our university 2018. Yeah, but it's my last time there.
I think I went there 2019.
Oh, yeah, been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're near from Surabaya, right? So
I think when 2018 and 2019. 2018, I remember I was with Mr. Teguh, and he actually took me to one of the orientation.
I see.
So he gave me chance to speak to the new intake. It was the first time I spoke in public after my graduation.
Oh,
so I was kind of nervous, and I imagine us when we were on freshman year. So I was like, what do you want
to say?
Yeah,
like that.
So they were like, we were just talking about people's worries about choices of university.
Yeah,
People are pretty much nowadays considering university like a
the
brand.
name brands of university
So I told them that
it's not about brand, it's about you.
the university that you go to doesn't define your future.
Yep.
Just because you're going to a not so common university, it doesn't make you less of a learner.
Less or learners. Yeah,
You decide what happened with your future.
I agree.
Because
Totally.
we went to the same university, but I know many people are like, oh, but what are you doing in that university? But I can make it to go places with the degree that I get. But I know for sure that it's not the degree or the school that makes you.
Yeah,
It's you.
Yeah, I agree. So I think I can guess that many people ask you where university comes from. You take your that's right.
Yeah, when I was doing my master degree.
Yeah, when you're doing a master degree. For example, when I were invited to join the program, one of program, the international program in Singapore, also in Italy, and everyone's okay. Asti, are you from that university in Indonesia or something like that? And then I told the truth. I'm from Kanjuruhan University.
Insert list of popular
university. So that's right. I always say that actually the brand of university is not makes you to where you now, right? But it's you and how you see your own potential, and then to use it to get your own purpose, right? Yeah,
it's always good to be able to share, with somebody who have pretty much the same insight.
Oh,
no, really, seriously.
Thank you.
I'm
thank you
glad
so
you're
much.
doing what you do, though.
Thank you. Me too. You know, always proud of you.
I
always.
I'm happy to be able to see other women that are as passionate as me about changing the normals. We should be tired of just living the expected.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you, Vicky. Maybe next time I will be back to talk more about just a lot of things that we have to share.
Maybe next time you can come to Melbourne.
Sure. Oh yeah, sure.
I mean, it's a good opportunity.
Yeah. Looking forward. Let's see the situation now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
See you later.
Bye bye.